We continue our coverage this afternoon of the Division Street explosion and fire that killed 5 firefighters and 2 residents. One of the firefighters killed, Mickey Catanzaro.
Right now, we are joined by his son, Nick, who is also a Buffalo firefighter himself. Nick, thank you so much for being here this afternoon.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm glad to be here.
So here we are, 40 years later. I just want to ask simply, how are you doing?
I'm great. You know, I got a great family, great support system, and all my brothers on the department, everyone. We come together at this time and celebrate their life, and instead of mourning on the loss, because they were all great fathers and hardworking men that risked everything that day for the propane explosion, and we as a department try to make ourselves better because of them. And so it not only did we lose something that day, we gained that day too. So
Nick, tell us a little bit about your father's service.
He was stationed at Hook and Ladder 5. Before that, he worked for National Fuel and took a pay cut to take the job. He actually used to, because there was a height requirement back then, he used to hang upside down to try and make himself taller. So.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah,
so this was 40 years ago. You were 9 months old when this happened. So you had to be told a lot. You didn't live or experience your father as much. What have you been told over the course of your life?
You know, every time I see someone, I hear a new story. Just when you think the stories are done, you hear another one, and they're all good. Like, I heard he was a great guy, and you know, I have one memory of him, and that's he used to come home from work and push me in the stroller down the street. That's the only memory I have of him. But, and you know, I feel like I live in his shoes every day, trying to fill them by doing this job. So even though I didn't have the memories, I feel like I'm making my own memories with him by being a fireman.
So tell us a little bit about, you know, your time being a fireman, filling those boots, as you say. Why did you decide that was something you wanted to do?
You know, I wasn't sure if I wanted to put my mother and my family, bring back memories. But once I got to the academy, I thought, I'm like, this is what I was called to do, and this is what is going to bring me and my dad close together, because even though we didn't have memories, now we're making memories, and I'm saving lives with my fellow brothers. And you know, I go every day and make sure I do the safety things, just because I know what this job entails, and that people can be lost if you don't check your gear and everything. So
you had mentioned that there was so much that was lost, not only, of course, property and the lives that were lost, most importantly, the 5 firefighters and the 2 civilians. But you believe that Buffalo and the fire department gained something from that. I imagine a tremendous amount of knowledge that took them into their firefighting into the future. What were some of those things you think they were gaining?
Accountability tags. We have accountability tags on the rigs now, so that when you come in, you put your tag on the rig, and you put a tag on the board. So there's one at the firehouse and one on the rig at the scene, so people know who's on that rig at the fire. So, because were some instances where guys weren't there and they thought they were, you know, so that even though we lost that day, we gained too. So.
Nick, you mentioned, you know, you say the word brothers. Talk about that brotherhood and that family, right? How has it been for you to have them to lean on, you know, especially on these big anniversaries, whether it's 20 years, 30, 35, 40?
You know, it's earlier this year we had Main Street, and what helped me get through it is being around the guys and being around family, because you want to be around people that were there to talk about it, because they're the only ones that know what actually happened that day. So I couldn't ask for a better crew. I feel like we have the best crew in the city, and I love all them guys, and they're all my brothers. So.
How long have you been a firefighter, Nick?
11 years.
So 11 years. So each of those 11 years, I imagine you've participated in this evening, in this December 27th event. What is that like for you, knowing that here you are building these memories, as you say, with your father, who you didn't know so much in life, but you really do know better in death? And you're also experiencing this with, as you mentioned, your brothers, as Jordan say. What is this evening like going to be for you? And also, the public is invited tonight, right? We're not just talking about firefighters.
It's just great to see everyone come out and celebrate these firemen and civilians that gave their life that day. And it's just great to see everyone talking, telling stories, and just reminiscing of the past and what great people they were and what great fathers they were, and it just brings happiness to everyone, even though it's a sad day. Sure.
And what do you think your father, Nick, would think about the path you kind of made for yourself?
You know, I know deep down I hope he's proud of me, and I think he is, but I think he would be really hard on me and just, just keep that straight Italian face, like, hey, you got to do your stuff. Like, right. Even though I know I'm doing it and stuff, so, I mean, I think I'm making him proud, and I know he's looking down on me, and I know he's with me, and I use that at fires, and I try not to... He's like my guardian angel, but I try not to take you know what I mean? Get too crazy because of it, but you got to be aggressive, but you got to also be safe too. So.
Well, it's gotten you to this point, and so I'm quite sure that your father is proud of you. In addition to that, we are proud of you and thankful for you as a member of our community, as a first responder. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your service to our community.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And thank you so much for being here as well.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to talk about it. That's what them guys need. They need people to talk about it and not forget, because they gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, they did.
Well said. Well said.